Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I am busy doing some of this, the black cardigan today, because I'll be out bingo tonight, so I'm not going to get a lot of knitting done today. And I have to go down my granddaughter's after lunch for the look after little Eddie for probably about an hour while his dad goes down to the job centre to sign on. He did have a couple of interviews on Monday and one of them didn't come to anything, but he's waiting to hear from the other one, so I might not have to do with this for much longer. But I went to my granddaughter's yesterday. It was a bit of a laugh actually, because I went down, I went in the house and sorting my things out, and it was a lovely day, so I decided I was going to sit in the garden and do my knitting in the garden. When you went to try the back door, I couldn't get out the back door. Well, Craig was there, like Cheryl was at work, but Craig was there, and I says, "Where's the key? I can't get the back door open." He says, "Cheryl's got it." I says, "What do you mean, Cheryl's got it? She's at work." He says, "I know." He says, "She's took the flaming key to work with her and I can't get out in the back garden." But he does have a, there's like a partition between the two houses, and there's like an alleyway that goes through, so you can get into the back gardens from the alleyways, but you have to go out the house, out into the front street, round the garden and up through the alleyway to get into the garden. So that's what we had to do. And I took a little Eddie around the back garden with me, and Craig was doing things in the house, and he just decided he'd open the window and he'd climb in and out the window. But anyway, that was only for a while. He remembered that Cheryl's mother, who just doesn't live far, had a spare key for the back door, so he went round there and got that eventually, like. But before that, he decided he'd cut the grass. Well, he had the lawnmower out and it's going up and down a couple of times, and it was bang. He went over the wire and cut the wire, didn't he? That he's got the plug pulled out there quick. So he pulled the plug out and climbed back in through the window into the house. This is before we got the key. Climbed back into the window, through the window to get into the house to see if he could find any electrician's insulating tape, and he needed a Stanley knife. Couldn't find anything like that in the house. I says, "Look at Craig, I'll tell you what. I'll nip up home. I'll go make car and I'll nip up home and I'll bring all the stuff down that you need from my house." So I had to go out in my car, go back home, found a Stanley knife for him and some electrician's tape and took that down. So he done that, what he had to do, splicing the covering off the wire and that, and joined them back up again and started it up, went, and then bang again. I says, "You mustn't have covered the wires properly." I says, "One of them must have touched the vibrations of you starting it up and all that." He's arguing, but I did, I covered." I says, "You couldn't have." I says, "I wouldn't have flaming conked out again." So he had to do that again, and it worked the second time anyway. Like. You see, I says, I know about these things. I helped my husband fix plenty of things like that. I know what to do with them. So anyway, he started cutting the grass, and that was when he remembered that Cheryl's mum had a spare key for the back door, so he went round for that. And so that was a little bit anyway, that got sorted out. And then I came home afterwards. It was quite late when I got home because Craig was taking the oldest boy, Frankie. He's doing weightlifting. And then he had to pick Cheryl up from work, so we didn't have our tea till late, and gave the kids theirs, something first. We were just having a good salad and everything, and Well, I had done some shopping before I went down Cheryl's, but I just left it in the back of my car, but I had one or two things that needed to go in the fridge, so I took them and put them in the fridge, in his fridge, and didn't I go and forget them when I went home. Craig messaged me, your ham's here and I'll give it to you tomorrow. And yes, don't forget. So I got home and doing a little bit of my own things. I haven't done a video for a couple of days. Well, like I'm seeing yesterday, I was at late. Went down to Cheryl's early and I was home late, so didn't really have time to do one. And I can't remember, I was too busy, I think, the day before. But anyway, I'm back on doing what I can today, and I have finished one of the little cardigans I was doing. I finished the 22-inch one, and I put it up on, I have a couple of Facebook group things I was putting on Instagram as well. I put them up on there, and the number of comments that I've had about, I don't know what's so unusual about this pattern, but everybody seems to think, and they can't find it. Well, actually, if you Google this, you'll not find it exactly the same as the one I've done. I've got like 3 little holes here. The ones I find tend to have a little hole at the bottom. They have 4 little holes and that, or they have that little one at the bottom there. But nobody's been able to find a one like this, like the way I do it, which I made up myself for my knitting machine years ago. But all the comments, so I've redirected anybody that asked about it to my channel. I've put the name of my channel in. I couldn't put a link to the channel because these then like knitting groups and things like that, and they're not you're not allowed to put YouTube and things like that. One of them used to let you do that, but they've suddenly stopped it. So I'll just show a picture of what I've done. If anybody asks, I'll put the name of the channel. Just write, print the name of the channel and let them look for it themselves. So that's one done. And with it ending up on Facebook, I've had people asking me to take orders. I said, do little baby ones, but I'm not doing big ones. So I've got a couple of little baby orders for baby ones. So I'm on to the second one. This is a 24-inch, and I've just done a little bit of a tutorial. That's all I've done of it up to now. So I've done a little bit of a tutorial, how much I've done. But it's just a video, I haven't put it up yet. I've just done a little bit of the video. I'm going to try and get it to cut as much as I can. That's not really necessary, and try to put it all up in one go. Because I noticed when I put the other one up, I put it up in 4 parts on my other channel, Sheila's Just Knitting, because that's where I do all the tutorials. And I put it up in 4 parts. When I put the first part up, I think I had, in that first day, I had over 1,000 views on it. But all the other parts haven't had that much. They've only had like a couple of 100, 200 or 300 views. And I was just wondering whether, when they've seen the first part, they thought it was the whole thing and weren't interested in waiting for the other parts of it. So I think I'll try and put it up all in one go, which I do on some of them, I have done some tutorials and put them up. The smaller ones, I put them all up in one go. But the larger ones, I can't do that because it takes too long to do them. But I might be able to do with this one. I'm going to try that and like edit out any little bits that's not necessary afterwards and try and get it up in just the whole one video for the whole cardigan. But I have been asked to do 2 little newborn, ones for newborns, so it'll be 16-inch, so it'll be one like that and one in some other pattern I'll do for her, but that's not wanted until July. The lady lives down in Wales somewhere, and her daughter actually used to live next door to me before the young girl that's living there now, but she moved. But she's coming up in July, she said, so I'll get those done for her before she comes up, so I can just give them to her. Won't take long. They're just a couple of little 16-inch little cardigans, but I'll probably do a tutorial on those as well. I know a lot of people are waiting, hoping for me to do larger tutorials, but I'll do them when I can get round to them. And this one, this is the black cardigan. I've got the back finish and I'm onto the sides, and I was going to do the, you know, on my zings, I was going to do the two sides together and the two sleeves together on the circulars, and then I suddenly realised, oh, you can see on here, the cable is black, and while that's a green, that would be in the ribs, that's not too bad. But what I would have had to do, the actual knitting on is like a dark blue, and there's no way I could knit on them with those, the cable's black, the same colour as what I'm knitting, and that's the reason I'm not using my zings, because I need these to see the stitches better with these grey needles. So that was an idea that fizzled out, so I'm just knitting them one piece at a time, and I'm just going to have to measure them, because I think I've done 18 rows on the rib, but when I looked at it and trying to count up the rows to work out how many rows I had done, they were just all blending into each other. I just could not count the rows. So I've had to more or less guess, and I think I have done 18 rows. I've got those things, you know, the row counters you put on the needles, but I just keep forgetting to turn them after I've done the row, so there's no point in putting them on. So I am just going to have to go use my tape measure and put it up against the sides, up against the back. That'll help to get the size right in that one. But I have my bingo tonight. It's the first time. I haven't been the last 2 Thursdays because my friend's been on holiday, but she's back home again, so we're going tonight. And hope I have a little bit of luck like I did the last time. Win a little bit, and at least it's light nights when I'll be coming back home, because I don't know what's happening about the roadworks on the A1, because we've had a lot of diversions nearly every week when I've been coming home. And the last couple of Thursdays that I was there was a full diversions, all, you know, some of them were just taking me up to the roundabout and back down the other side, because they were working on the bridge over there by the roundabouts. But so that was just going off, up and back down on the other side. But the last couple of times it was the long way around, and it takes a long way. It takes me a long way to drive back home. At least it's light nights, and I can see better where I'm going in the late nights. Looking for these signs that are showing you for the diversions, but I think I know them off by heart now. I've done it that many times. And so I'll be having something quick for my lunch, and then I'm going to nip down to my granddaughter's to look after Eddie for Craig for probably about an hour. See if I can get away from him after an hour. Like, you know, he seems to think I've got nothing else to do but sit down there with them. But I have other things to do. I want to get out in my garden for a little while as well, because it's not as nice as yesterday, but it's still warmish. And you know, it's funny, but my house, I don't know what they call it, south facing, but the front of the house gets the sun all afternoon, right into early evening, and we had been council property. You know, the council do upgrades and things like putting double glazing in and the stuff in your walls, that insulating stuff in your walls. Before that, the sun used to shine through my window. The house, the living room used to be lovely and warm in the summer. Even in the winter, when it was sunny, it was warm in my house because of the sunshine through the window. And you could feel the heat on the walls as well, when, you know, through the bricks and that. But since I put the double glazing in, And the insulating in the walls, the heat doesn't get through like it used to. In my living room is cold all the time, even in the summer. I came in last night. I'd been at my granddaughter's all most of the day, and I got home around about 7:30, nearly 8 o'clock I think it was. And it was cold in my living room. I felt like putting the heating on, but I thought, I'm not putting the heating on, it's lovely and warm. But in the summer, I very rarely wear jeans or anything like that. I wear like my skirts and dresses in the summer. When I have my jeans on, my legs are usually warm, but I had a skirt on, my legs were cold, my feet were cold. I had to get myself a pair of socks and put a pair of socks on my feet. But I just was not putting the heating on. It says it shouldn't. It's lovely and warm outside. And so that's another rant about the how double glazing insulation in the walls. It might be great in the winter, stopping the heat going out, but it stops the heat coming in the summer. If there's anything to rant about, I'll find it. So that's my little bit for now. I'm just going to do a little bit knitting. I'm going to make lunch, a little bit knitting till I'm going down. I've got to be down for 1:30 down my granddaughter's. And with a bit of luck, I may be home again for 2:30. So thumbs up and subscribe. Bye for now. I'll catch you all another time.